time for Baseball with the Bard.
It's time for Baseball with the Bard. Did you hear the voice say it, Mr. Cross? Hello, everybody. I am Tyler Bard, and that is Noah Cross, back for another off-season episode of Baseball with the Bard, but not any off-season episode. It is the very first day of spring training games, baby. Noah texted me about maybe 20 minutes ago with his very first lineup card update from the MLB app. And I know he can't be any more excited than we all are, us baseball fans, that baseball is finally back up and running. Now, just to preface this, we are coming to be back to weekly episodes once the season begins. So when we get back into the regular season, we will be back. And I think we'll probably do one more episode before the season begins where Noah and I will be making our World Series champion predictions. And this time it's not just 60 games, ladies and gentlemen. It is 161 games. So it is going to be very, very fun. And yes, Noah, thank you for the reminder in the chat there. We are going to be experiencing a rebranding moving forward. You might see a different name. We might keep the names. We'll see what happens moving forward. But we, as some of you may know, we have two podcasts. We have the Baseball with the Bard podcast and the Cross'em Wrestling Entertainment podcast. We found out that Noah is usually the one who's more on point with baseball facts, and I'm the one who's usually more on point with the wrestling facts. So I think it makes sense for us to host the opposite shows. We'll see how it goes going forward. We're just going to try it out for fun. So join us for those. Next time we have our episodes, we are going to swap hosts. So not next episode for Cross'em this week, but the one after that, your big boy here is going to be running the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. No, I don't know about you, but I'm excited for this rebranding.
Oh, I'm excited too, man. As we know, we've just accidentally discovered, as you said, that you always have the knowledge of what's going on in AEW for CWE, and I always, we write each other's scripts for a reason. Let's put it
right.
Way, right?
We literally write each other's scripts, and it makes more sense for us to go about it this way. So we're very excited to get started very soon on hosting things that we'll probably be more inclined to host. So yes, looking forward to that. But no, more importantly than that, let's get into the show, buddy. Spring training starts today. We are going to talk about what we are most looking forward to going into this season. Now, as a Red Sox fan, I am most looking forward to see if the pieces that we lost this offseason will play as big of a part as they may seem like they're going to play. Like the loss of Andrew Benintendi. Is that going to hurt nearly as much as people seem to think it's going to? I don't think so. But I'm really looking forward to seeing if the Sox can even potentially carve out a second place in this division. Will it happen? I think we'll have to wait and see. It's not looking so great, but it is possible. Eden, thank you so much for tuning in. It sounds so great that we're doing the switch. I appreciate that. Thank you for the enthusiasm, and we'll see where it takes us. But Noah, what are you looking most forward to?
I think the aspect of the Yankee season I'm most looking forward to is their new pitching rotation. You have the addition of Tyone. You have the addition of Kluber, who is a former Cy Young Award winner. So I'm excited to see what those two can do. I'm excited to see them prove themselves in New York behind that guy right there, Garrett frickin' Cole. And I'm excited to see that 1-2-3, and I hope it turns into a 1-2-3 punch. As we always talk about, teams need that 1-2-3 punch or even a 1-2 punch to be able to sustain any type of tenure in the postseason. So I'm excited to see what those three guys can do in pinstripes this year. I'm most looking forward to the new Yankees pitching rotation.
Yeah, definitely. That is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Even as a Red Sox fan, I'm excited to see how much these guys are going to be able to tear it up. And as we noted as the show began, there are some games today, some scrimmages that are going to be happening, and I have a few of them pictured on screen here for you visual engagers. We have the Red Sox versus the Twins, with Evaldi getting the nod against Smeltzer. Again, let's go Sox. Let's see if Evaldi can get back into the form he was in the 2018 postseason. If we get that Evaldi, the Sox are in some decent shape in that department. We've got the Blue Jays versus the Yankees, with K going up against King for the Yankees. Anything you're looking forward to seeing out of this game, Noah?
Not so much in the likes of the pitching matchup, but the Yankees lineup card that I sent you was stacked. I mean, they're
all playing today.
They had every starter out there. Now, does that mean they're going to play a full 5 innings, 7 innings? No. But
you're going DJ, Judge, Torres, Voit, Gary, Frazier, Andujar, Chirinos, and Talkman. It's like a regular opening day lineup.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see, even if each of them only hits one time, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, no, that is definitely going to be exciting for the fans who they are allowing to be in attendance to see all of the stars in day 1 of spring training. You usually don't see that until probably day 10, day 15, where you get all the stars in one lineup getting ready for some normalcy. But we also have the Braves versus the Rays, with Wright going up against. He didn't change his hat yet. I'm like, they made a mistake there against Ellis. They didn't change the icon yet for him. But that should be a pretty decent matchup too. 2 forces to be reckoned with. I am so happy that baseball is back. Ever since the football season has ended, I have been dying for some baseball to start up, because I just need that sense of normalcy back in my life. And speaking of some normalcy, there are some names that we've been looking forward to seeing, like this name right here, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, someone who is an exciting player, incredible hitter and pitcher. No, you want to let us know what you had written here about Shohei?
Yeah, so the Angels, and I don't know if anyone's known this, Shohei Ohtani has been a two-way player, meaning he can both pitch as a starter and he can hit, like he can whale, and he's an outfielder. And MLB The Show games, as you know, I always talk about. I love playing those games. MLB Show 21 coming out in April. You could pre-order now, by the way. And yes, I'm already on that. Okay. Anyway, the Angels are hoping Ohtani can be a solid two-way player in 2021. He was hitting triple digits in a pitching session just a week ago, hitting 100 mile an hour on his fastball. I mean, there's regular starters who can't do that. All right. And Ohtani's doing it, and he's also hitting and keeping his bat hot as well. Do we think it's viable to have two-way players, Tyler, is the big question that I want to talk about here. Is it a thing that we might see more of? Or are they going to ask Ohtani, listen, it'd be great. It's cool that you can pitch, but we have a rotation. We have a bullpen. We're going to keep your spot on the bat rack in the outfield.
That would be a mistake, because Shohei Ohtani is definitely a decent pitcher. He is not as good as he was initially hyped up to be when he first came over here to the States, because I don't know about you, but I remember the first time that Shohei Ohtani had to face the Red Sox, and it was an absolute slaughter. So if he can't pitch against the top dogs, then maybe they should just keep him as a batting presence. But I don't think that should be a precedent in the league. I think if a guy wants to play both ways, he should be allowed to play both ways.
Sure.
But that's, again, the team should decide that.
I agree with that. Now, my biggest thing is if you look at the aspect of a pitcher hitting or vice versa, a guy who doesn't ever pitching. When you're a pitcher, there's like a tempo that you have to have and a certain amount of, like, look at Garrett Cole. Okay.
Right.
Like if the Yankees said to Garrett Cole, listen, I know you started yesterday, but you mind hopping in left today?
You want to be DH?
Yeah. Like you mind, we just need the bat. Like that's going to throw him off, I feel. So I don't know. I'm sure Ohtani's used to it, but I think if they could make him strong in one area, like if they said, listen, we're not going to have you pitch, just go out there and wail as much as you can on that ball.
I think he'd go back to Japan if they asked him to do that.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he wants to be a utility. He came here as a utility guy.
I get
that was literally his thing. And then he had a home run in his first damn game. Of course he wants to do both. He's signed as a pitcher, not a hitter.
Yeah, well, I think they should find whatever he's stronger at and just do it.
I mean, they need a pitcher, so I mean, why not keep him in the lineup?
They need more than the pitcher. You see that team?
Exactly. So he's both. So why not let him do both?
He's not going to. He's been there forever. He's not going to. Shohei Ohtani is not the answer to the Angels' problems. I'm just simply talking about two-way players and how I don't think it's viable to have a two-way player. I just think you just listen. What are you good at? Let's get really good at it and go for it. Listen, if he was going out there and he was just incredible. Now, sure, he had a bit of an injury plague season for the last two, right? So he hasn't been 100%, and that's what this is about. He's looking to be 100% 2021.
Right.
But if he doesn't do it this year, like if he can't be a solid, 100-mile-an-hour fastball through about 5-6 innings, keeping your team in the game, less than 3 runs, and maybe the next day you're playing in right, left, center, whatever. Maybe if he can do that solidly this season, sure. If not, there's no reason to have that back and forth there, because I feel it's just going to hurt him more. It's going to make him look bad. It's not going to make him look like a solid player if he's having one good start and then he's terrible and he can't focus enough on the bat because he's too focused on trying to be a better pitcher. I just think there's too much going on in that area, and he's a great player. Just let him be a great player at something.
All right. I mean, I understand what you're saying. But if I get that. If we're just talking about Shohei, though, he should be a dual player, in my opinion, because I think he's proven himself that he can be that player that we're talking about. And we've got some absolute all-stars like Shohei, but if we're talking about legends, we got to talk about Miggy. Miguel Cabrera is on track to get to a pretty monumental marker in his career. Cabrera is seeking the 500 career home run mark going into the 2021 season with 487. Will he be able to do it this season, needing only 13? I feel like that question is disrespectful, Noah. Absolutely.
Okay. Anything can happen, Tyler.
What are you saying? You saying you think he might get hurt? Are you trying to put that mojo? You trying to put that juju on Miguel Cabrera?
They could have to shut down the season again.
How very dare you?
I don't know.
I think he'll definitely get it within the first half of the season. He's hitting 26 plus home runs this season.
Yeah.
Or 25 plus to make it a nice round number. Yeah, absolutely. And I know he's also on track to 3,000 hits. So he is right on track for that too. I don't have the exact number in front of me here, but I know he is also on track for that as well. So the best of luck to Miguel Cabrera. This could very well be his curtain call season. So this could be the final season for Miguel Cabrera's career. And just this picture right here, as I was scrolling through pictures for Miguel Cabrera, I picked this one because you can just tell off of that swing and the trajectory of that ball that this was absolutely a home run. There was no chance that ball was not getting out of the park. So Miguel Cabrera, we here at the Baseball with the Bard podcast want to wish you the best of luck on your mission to 500 career home runs. You can go shake hands with David Ortiz and meet him in the Hall of Fame when you officially retire, both having 500 home runs on your check mark.
And his hits he has 2,866, so he's 134 away.
Easy.
He could easily do
that this season. He has to have a very decent season to get that done. But I think Miguel Cabrera could do it.
The last time he got close was in 2019. He had 139 hits and a batting average of 282. So that's pretty solid. So
yeah, average season. Yeah. Average season, you can get it done. Come on, Miggy. Get 2 records. Break 2 personal records, or set 2 personal milestones, I should say, in one season, and everyone will have nothing to say to you about how you play the game anymore. Not that they should anyways. You're insane.
It's valid.
Oh, Noah, we're at our favorite place. Our place that we used to start off every single episode of Baseball with the Bard. COVID! It was the COVID Cup last season. There are some newer MLB COVID-19 precautions going into place. Noah, you looked some of these up. You want to take this one away?
Sure. One of the things I saw was just a quick headline. It just talked about how they're installing plexiglass in between the field and fans, basically making some sort of a buffer type of area to keep people away, right? To keep air circulation off the field. You got to protect the players. That's obvious. They're the ones that are, going out there every day, and they're the ones we want to see. Baseballs are going to have masks now that you can see. Got to keep all that juice in, Anyway,
the amount of guys who lick the baseballs. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
There's going to be obvious limited attendance. I don't think any
12.5% for most of the stadiums.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I've been hearing as well. I know it's a little larger in areas like Florida and Los Angeles, and I know they're actually even having I know they're even having fans in attendance for spring training as well. So like you could actually buy tickets to a Yankee spring training game because of the location of it. Not that we're going, but you can. And my biggest question is, how are they going to decide who can attend these games and when? So, Tyler,
There can
as
be
you know,
no buffer. There can't be. They can't. They
as
can't
in,
buffer people.
as in just let people like just go. That's it.
Yep. There's no screenings. They can't. They literally can't. It would be such a mess.
Oh no, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the sense of, so you know how I have season tickets to the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
I have the 12 game pack, and I have 2 other private game, like single games that I have tickets to as well. So I have 14
Oh,
games
sure.
in total that I'm just sitting on these tickets now from last year, and I transferred them to this season, right?
Yeah.
How do I know if I can go to the stadium and when? Like, you know what I mean? How are they going to decide that process? Are they going to say,
Season ticket holders get priority, probably.
that's what I'm thinking, right? I mean, I'm just throwing this out there as a conversation piece. If anyone comments on this, please just let me know what you're thinking. It's just one of those things where, what are they going to do? What is their thought process going to be? Like, as a season ticket holder, am I going to get first dibs, right? To say, oh, I'm going to go to these games, and then everybody else can just buy single game tickets after.
Yeah.
Am I not going to get that option? Are they going to tell me which games I'm going to? Right. And that's the biggest thing with the season ticket, being a season ticket holder, is they're very flexible usually, but in times like this, the flexibility, yeah, it might not be there. So if you're a season ticket holder, that might just be something you want to look into. And I've been looking into it a little bit and trying to get some information, but it's not easy just because they're sort of coming up with the answers as they go, right? Not everybody has all the answers yet because we're sort of just still experiencing this.
I'll tell you one thing. This is probably going to make ticket prices for regular admission a lot more expensive. It's definitely going to cost a lot more to go to a game. A hot dog, instead of costing $4.95, is going to cost $6.95. Everything is definitely going to be most expensive, but I plead with people. If you are a baseball fan, please do not stop going to these games unless it's for COVID reasons. If you are not wanting to go out in public for COVID reasons, of course, definitely take care of yourself first. But baseball has been a safe haven for so many of us for such a long time. I know me and Noah especially, we are happier when we are in a stadium. So it is, I am hopeful that fans will turn out. I know they will, especially in the big markets like New York, LA, Florida, Chicago. You're still going to get all your fans there. But please support your team because they're going to need it. And they have given us everything we wanted last season. So please go support baseball. They're going to need a little bit of help. Because otherwise they're going to have to shut it down again. And oh God, please
don't say that. Don't say
please
that.
Please don't.
MLB,
I don't want it to happen.
MLB Shop has tons of sales too. You can support your team that way. So go buy
absolutely.
some hats, some jerseys. You see, I got my Garrett Cole jersey, baby. All that good stuff.
Definitely grab some merchandise while it is on sale before the season starts. Because once it's on TV, it ain't gonna last very long being on sale. But we have a headline here that the MLB is starting to become pretty flexible with the 2021 spring training. It's going to be very interesting. I have a few items listed here. I'll read through them and we can pick out some of our favorite things here. So the games do not matter as standings would see them. So we're going to see quite a few oddities this spring. For example, we might see some 2-out innings to keep the time of spring training games down. We're going to see potentially some 5-inning games, some 7-inning games, and then eventually, I'm sure we're towards the end, we'll probably get some regular length 9-inning games. Intrigued is one word to describe that. The 2-out innings, I think, is absolute garbage, and that shouldn't exist. I can understand the 5-inning or 7-inning games if you have to play 2 games a day, but I think it's honestly quite silly that they're doing these things. I don't know if it's flexibility. Oops, wrong one. I don't know if it's flexibility as much as it is them just being cautious. But what are you being cautious of if you're going to have regular games in 3 weeks' time? So I don't see the purpose of it. I think it's kind of silly.
I thought it was a little silly too. And there's a couple managers who have argued in the sense of saying, they're like, yeah, whatever. And I think Brian Snitker was one of them. He said, specifically in an MLB article, that fans are going to be upset about this. There's going to be a few people who think it's stupid or silly. But as a manager, for the most part, it's whatever. Like, if the bases are loaded in a spring training game and there's 2 outs and a guy comes to the plate and you're the manager and you're just going to wave to the other manager and say, all right, we're good. Let's go to the next one. Fans are going to be like, whoa, what are we doing? But the way he put it was, as a manager, we've already seen what we needed to see. Like it doesn't take much to in a spring training game. Like you know what you guys are going to need. They know what they need, so you're not going to push them too much. And if it means we can just sort of move things along and have a more efficient paced spring training, sure, I get it. And as I said, it's spring training. Like the games don't matter. Like they're all scrimmages. It's literally just to get hot. And 90% of the time, you're not even going to be seeing your guys out there in a sense of the guys you want to see. Like Garrett Cole's not going to pitch a 9-inning game. Okay, like it's not happening. All right.
Right.
So in that respect, the two out innings is kind of weird. I'll give you. Like I remember last year there was a spring training game where the Yankees were they were behind by like 2 runs, and Mike Ford hit a 2-run homer in the bottom. In the bottom of the ninth, to tie the game. And the Aaron Boone looked over at the other manager. I forget who they were playing, and they were just like, "All right, we're good." Yep, and they just left. Like they tied the game in the bottom of the ninth in spring training, and they were like, "Man, that's enough for us. Like we're good. You're good. Yeah, all right, we're good. All right, bye.
All right, we're good. We're all good."
I was like, oh, like there's no winner. Like,
nope.
Oh, okay. Like I was like, oh, all right, that's fine. So I'm gonna kind of compare it to that in a sense, to where it's spring training. You're gonna see weird things that don't make any sense, but the purpose of it is just to get hot for the regular season. So
yeah, definitely. You made some pretty valid points here. I do want to take a moment to shout out my Twitch account that we are streaming on live. You can follow us at twitch.tv/tbard. With 5195. Geez, holy cow. I almost said T-Bard 1995. That was my old name. It's T-Bard 5195. And while we're on that subject, we got to shout out my buddy Drew, who just subscribed at tier 1 for 3 months on a 3-month streak. So Drew, thank you very much. Drew is the creator of all of my emotes. Yeah, he's looking at you. He's looking at you now. Noah, Drew's looking right at you. Give him the eyes. So, Drew, thank you. All of you can also go give us a follow or a subscription over on Twitch. We are also streaming on Facebook at the Baseball with the Bard Facebook page, and on YouTube for the Bard and Cross Entertainment page. So you can find us on any of those platforms where we go live for the podcast. Speaking of podcasts, Noah, we've got some friends here at Clovercrest Media who also make podcasts. Let's take a look at some of our friends that you can find on the Clovercrest Network.
Clovercrest Media Group presents a CMG podcast, Keys to the City.
Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know.
Crossed up by Kobe, little floater to Shaq, and then Shaq goes like this, and the rest is history. Pay attention. Don't tell me what to do, Devil Woman. Speaking of those Lakers, hold on, fun. But I didn't make I said Denver's gonna win. Yeah, you did. You said that. There's no other show like that. Clovercrest is doing great things right now.
Streaming everywhere.
When I was 12 years old, I became a Jack Nicholson superfan. This happened almost overnight on an evening in February 1997 when I first saw The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
In those 20-plus years, I never stopped being a Jack superfan.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Get ready for You Don't Know Jack, hosted by me. Subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform.
The Cross'em Wrestling Entertainment Podcast, presented by Clovercrest Media, is what you AEW fans have been looking for. Noah Cross and Tyler Bard give their take on every week's episode of Dynamite. If you are a massive AEW fan, then it is time to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Stay Cross'em.
Let's go! Let's go! What a dive! Hell yes! Gotta end on a high note. That was awesome. Oh my god. And like I said, we stream over on Twitch as well. I'll be streaming later today at 2 o'clock with Ray Bay Cosplay playing some Fall Guys. Going to be a lot of fun over there. So if you want to see that, just come over to the Twitch channel, drop a follow. You'll get the notification when I go live, and you can see me play that game you were watching right there. Let's get back into it, shall we, Mr. Cross? There have been some teams making big moves in the offseason. You want to carry it away?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got you mid-sip.
Let's sit there. Okay. Yes, teams that made some big moves over the offseason, and we are going to see if we think it's going to make a difference. That's the biggest question here. So first off, of the New York Mets, look at them. As you see, Francisco Lindor there on your screen, but the Mets also picked up and acquired this offseason Kevin Pillar and Taijuan Walker, along with catcher James McCann was also on that list of the players that the Mets have picked up.
Quick answer, story. Yes.
Okay. Hold on.
That was the easiest one on the list.
Funny story. Tyler was over at my house yesterday, and we were watching Survivor, as we do. By the way, Tyler, damn
You're welcome.
Damn you. And my grandfather yells for me, who my grandparents live downstairs, and he's like, Noah, and I'm like, oh, here, okay, I thought something was wrong. So I run downstairs, and I was like, Papa, what's up? And he's like, do you see the Mets got this guy right here? Francisco Lindor? And I'm like, dude, this happened. Like in my head, I'm like, this happened like what, a month ago?
He gets free passes always.
Well, yes. Well, I don't forget though, he was also in the hospital / convalescent home because of COVID for 2 months, right? So he has no idea what's going on in baseball. So he was like, oh, this guy's great. And him and my grandmother, you ready for this? So my grandparents are diehard Yankees fans. My grandmother's favorite is Derek Jeter, and they were comparing Francisco Lindor, the way he talks, the way he holds himself, and the way they saw him in an interview, to Derek Jeter.
I agree.
But they said he is Jeter-like, and they loved him.
I think that's a very incredible statement. It's funny enough. I have a quote right on the screen from Francisco Lindor that says, I feel like I'm playing like I'm a little kid playing the best game out there, so why not enjoy it? Francisco Lindor.
That's great.
It is an incredible quote from him, and I think that is something exactly like Derek Jeter would say. I'm doing something that every kid in the world dreams of doing, so why not get out there and enjoy it?
Yes.
Of all the players, huge. This was one of the biggest moves of the offseason, if not the Yankees re-signing DJ LeMahieu. So this is massive. With Kevin Pillar, Taijuan Walker, and Lindor alone, that was plenty. Nothing more had to be done. They will make the postseason easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to make a difference for the Mets in that respect. They'll make the postseason. I don't think they're going to go extremely far in the postseason. I apologize to Mets fans out there. I love you. Uncle Anthony, I'm here. My friend Evan, I'm sorry. Just not going to happen.
It could happen.
No. They're not going to make it past
Who's the predictions master here? All right.
They're not going to make it past the championships. I don't care.
So they're going to make it to the championship? They'll win the divisional round?
I think they'll win the division.
All right, so they're gonna go.
They'll make it to the
championship
playoffs
against the Dodgers.
They'll make it to the playoffs, but they're not gonna go far.
They're gonna lose to the Dodgers, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, if they don't, well, yeah, I could see that.
So they would have to beat probably the Padres or the Cardinals.
Yep.
Damn. Speaking of, we have another team here, the Cardinals, with their massive acquisition this offseason in Nolan Arenado. They were a good team last year. They're going to be an even better team this year. With the addition of a massive name like Nolan Arenado, Noah, is this enough to push them past the point they made last season?
You're going to disagree with me on this one.
Uh-huh.
No.
You know what? The only reason I kind of agree with you, I think it is enough to get them better than they were last season. But the only reason I kind of agree with you is because the Mets will beat them. I think the Mets, if the Mets meet them in the playoffs, the Mets will beat them. Yeah. And it's going to be Mets Dodgers in the NLCS. But we'll make those predictions on the next episode of Baseball with the Bard. But yeah, no. Did you like it when I whispered, Noah?
Yeah, we could stop. Okay.
We're going to do the rest of the podcast like this now.
Maybe you.
It's ASMR Baseball with the Bard.
Oh, Lord. I apologize to anybody who's wearing headphones right now.
Anyone who hates me whispering in their ear, I'll stop doing it now. Yes, I think we are on the same page. We agree that it's not going to get them any further in the postseason than they made it last year, but they are definitely going to have a better record and potentially a better vibe to the entire season than they did last year.
Okay, maybe. It is. My biggest thing with this is whenever someone moves one. Now, I'm going to make two separate arguments here. I don't always say like one. It takes more than one player to win a game, right? We know that. Granted, the Cardinals have a great team. I just don't think Arenado is going to add that much more to what they already can do.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
That's my biggest argument with that. The next one, though,
Yeah, sorry, I prematurely clicked on him.
You're good. Man.
Over on the Dodgers, we have Mr. Trevor Bauer. Can Trevor Bauer really make the Dodgers any freaking better than they already were?
Here's the thing, though. Yes. Listen,
if they win more than 110 wins, I swear to God, if they get more, I honestly think they could win 120 games. Like, they're so damn stacked, and I can't stand it. I absolutely can't stand it. Bauer, I thought I liked you. Now you are on the dark side. The only Dodger I cheer for is Mookie Betts because he had no choice. You had a choice, and you chose to take less money to go to the Dodgers. You filthy son of a bee. We're watching you. All right, at least I am.
Whoa. No, yeah, okay. Don't include me in this. Trevor Bauer, I still think you're great. Every time I
deserve the hate.
If you took the picture down, you'd see how hard I'm smiling. I just can't stop laughing. Is the biggest thing. Like, every time I just think about Bauer went to the Dodgers, I just can't stop laughing because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing that the Dodgers were doing told anybody that they needed to go after the.
They didn't need to go after him.
The best starting pitcher. Nothing. Like, they did not have to do that at all, and they probably still would have been the favorites to win the World Series next year. But now they got him. Now they got Trevor Bauer, even though they don't need him, and it's just ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie.
I just think it's funny. It's just like, how? Why? What are we doing? This isn't necessary.
I hate it here.
Baseball.
I hate it here. You know what? Let's just stop talking about him and talk about the biggest questions for my boys, the Boston Red Sox, coming up. Will the rotation return to top form? Of course not. Of course, it's not going to be the same rotation we saw in 2018. There's no way. The current rotation, will they be back? Who knows? Chris Sale is still dealing with injuries. Eduardo Rodriguez has long-lasting effects from COVID. Evaldi's coming off injury. So we've got guys who have to come back and prove it. So hopefully they can do those things and prove us wrong. That prove, and not us. That's a broad statement. Prove the doubters wrong. When it comes down to it, though, what are they going to accomplish? Are they going to make that second place spot like I'm hoping they make? Who knows? They got to get through the Rays. They got to get through the Jays. They got to get through the Yanks. They got to have an incredible season. But would anyone have said that the 2004 Sox were going to win the World Series? No. So this is a team that loves to live on the bottom, and they love to be thought of as the bottom team. And then they come right back and do it. And there's guys like we have here, and Erod needs to have a massive season. Absolutely. JD Martinez needs to have a massive season. Chris Sale, if he's healthy enough to play, needs to have a massive season. And the one who I think needs to have the biggest season out of all of the players is Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers is going to be the rock that the Red Sox build their city around. He is the center point, the capital city of the Boston Red Sox. He is the one who they are going to build this team around, him and Xander Bogaerts. But we already knew about Xander Bogaerts. This is our star, in my opinion. Rafael Devers is the guy who is going to be the next big thing. And I say that because of the moments this man has had. And I have one pictured right here, Noah. Could you tell me what this moment is?
Was this?
Yes, it is the moment where he hit a home run off of Aroldis Chapman to tie the game in the bottom of the ninth. How many people have hit a home run off of Aroldis Chapman, Noah?
Well, to this point,
3.
Too many, but
and he too many times. No, it's like 5 or 6 now because of the last few years.
Mm-hmm. And it's always when it matters too.
To see a young upstarting young buck like this guy come in and just. He might as well have closed his eyes and thrown the bat out there. And I'm just so excited to see what the future holds for this guy, Rafael Devers, and the guys we mentioned, Sale, JD, and Erod. I think they have a solid chance of at least landing in 3rd place this season. We'll see. I have high hopes, but I'm not going to put them out there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sox defense does need to show up every day. You're right there, D. Palladino. They absolutely have to show up because who knows if the offense is going to be able to get it done? Who knows if the pitching is going to be able to get it done? That infield needs to be on their toes, literally and metaphorically, at all times, ready to make the saving plays. So We'll see what the Red Sox can do, but we all know the answers to these next questions. The Yankees moving forward, Noah, take it away.
Oh, baby. The New York Yankees and Brett Gardner have reunited. By the way, Gardner signed for 2 years at $5.15 million. It's a little bit of a hokey kind of deal with like options for both and whatever.
Right, bonuses and yeah,
it's whatever. But Gardner's back for 2 years. Very excited. Our
very
friend Courtney,
exciting.
As you know, is very excited to hear that news. So Courtney Gardner's back.
Courtney is very excited.
Very, very. Gardy Party stays in New York.
Absolutely.
Will the Yankees' new rotation get the job done? That was a question we kind of talked about before. You got Garrett Cole there. Just look at the intensity in that man.
He's
Garrett freaking Cole, baby. Jameson Tyone, Garrett Cole's buddy. I'm excited to see them pitch together. And then Corey freaking Kluber there, former AL Cy Young Award winner. And it's exciting to see him in pinstripes. So players looking to tear it up in 2021 for the New York Yankees. Obviously, Garrett Cole. That is not even a doubt about it. He came out here last year and did exactly what he had to do. And that was be the best pitcher in the freaking game. And if you ask me, this year in 2021, Garrett Cole will win the Cy Young Award. That is my prediction.
Wow.
I was going to ask you, Tyler, what do you think? I think Garrett Cole's going to win the Cy Young for the AL.
I think it's not the boldest of takes because, of course, he's an incredible pitcher. But I think it could be him or potentially another Yankee that we'll be getting to in a moment.
Okay. All right. So, yes, Garrett freaking Cole, I think, will win the AL Cy Young. He's going to tear it up. Also, who's going to tear it up is Jameson Tyone. I think he's going to come out here. He's excited to be playing with Garrett Cole, and he's excited to be playing with Garrett Cole again.
In spring training uni.
Absolutely. Look at him. He's going. And Aaron
looks
Boone,
like he lost some weight, too. He looks a little skinnier than he was last season.
So what New York will do to you, I mean.
Oh, it's the hair. It's because he cut his hair. That's why.
Yeah, they shave everything off. That's true. You're right. Aaron Boone has already said that Jameson Tyone and Kluber have been looking at top form already in some of their pitching sessions. Exciting to see. And here he is, Corey.
That's who Kluber. My pick is for a potential Cy Young winner this season.
If Corey Kluber goes to New York to the New York Yankees and wins the Cy Young in his first year,
16-2.
Will crumble.
16-2.
Oh my God! Please. Oh my God! I will buy the jersey.
Ready? Hold on. Let me get in here. Let me just put this down real quick. Tyler's bold take clip of the episode. Corey Kluber will go 16-2 on the season or better and win the Cy Young.
What's his ERA going to be for the season?
2.4.
Okay. All right. Now listen. That's great. I hope you are right because I'll take it. Because we know Garrett Cole's going to be good. All right.
You want to know why Garrett Cole was as good as he was with the Astros? Because he had a guy like Justin Verlander to live up to. You want to know why Corey Kluber is going to be as good as he is with the Yankees? Because he has a guy like Garrett Cole to live up to. That is why I think Corey Kluber is going to come in and prove that he was worth the money he's being paid by the Yankees. He's not being paid nearly as much as this man, and neither was Corey Kluber being paid as much as Justin Verlander when he made the Cy Young Award that he deserved. That is why Corey Kluber has the best potential, I think, in the American League to win the Cy Young. That or my wild card pick for the Cy Young is Snell back on the Rays.
No.
Watch it happen. He's going to have a season.
Well, no, Snell is on the Padres now, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. They picked up. I mixed up their names. Chris Archer. Archer back on the Rays. I have done that for years. Those two. I have mixed up their names for so long. I used to do it with Judge and Stanton. I was just like, yeah, Judge and left.
No.
No, that's not Tyler. No, he does not play left. Oh yeah, you're right. No, sorry, Archer back in Ray's uniform. I think he could have a massive season. Those fans love him and are very excited to see him back. So he's going to be in an atmosphere where he's going to thrive with going up against guys like this, where he has to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
You got Gleyber Day, Aaron Judge, and of course the one you noted here, Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, Stanton, again, if you ask me, he is another player who I think needs to tear it up in 2021. I think he will. I think Stanton's going to really find himself. This is their first full year with their new training team, their first full year with their new coaches and such. So I think Stanton's going to be coming in ready to go, guns a-blazing, and I'm looking forward to him hitting 40-plus homers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he could. I think he could break some records this season, some Yankees hitting records. We'll see. I think this is his year. he showed last year that he has his mojo back. And here's hoping that Stanton can have, I mean, for you guys at least.
No, you can hope, Taylor. It's okay.
That he has an incredible season. But yeah, where are the Yankees landing this division? And I know you're going to say first, but by how much do they edge out the other two teams?
I think the closest team to us will be the Rays, just because they're kind of
disagree.
They're going to be a little. Are you going to say the Blue Jays?
I am.
Yeah, it's a toss-up.
I think because they're young blood.
Well, look at it this way. If we're going to say Chris Archer is going to be a Cy Young candidate, I mean, I think the Rays.
So what?
They're going to do good things.
How many Cy Young candidates have been on it? Look at the Mets with DeGrom.
That's very true. Well, I don't think
did they even get 60 wins.
We can't compare the Mets to anything though. Like they're just we don't know how they're bad.
I think we can compare them to the Rays. The Rays have been hot garbage for 10 years, and then they had 2 good years, and everyone puts them in the God tier. It's just
you chose them to win the World Series. You
because I'm tactical, Noah, and I understand
God tier.
No. I said they would win the World Series. Would I put the Cardinals in God tier or the White Sox in God tier? No, but they can both win the World Series this year. So I'm not putting either of them in that tier, including the Rays.
No, they can't. But no, I think the Rays will still finish in second.
It's close. It's going to be 90 plus wins and then high 80s, low 80s, and that's where this season will probably go.
Yankees are going to win 100 games.
That would be impressive. They're in a tough division.
They're
in a very tough division. So that would be incredibly impressive. It don't matter how bad the Red Sox are. The Red Sox still manage to eke out a few wins against the Yankees every single year. And for a long ass time, the Red Sox were the winners of that rivalry. The Yankees have just because of last season taken the lead. But it was even. Like, it was insane how close that rivalry was. But Noah, thank you for another incredible episode of Baseball with the Bard. Remember that we are going to be switching it up on our next episode. We are going to switch the order of which we sit. Noah's going to be over here. Noah is going to be hosting the next episode of Baseball with the Bard with that stupid Yankee hat on. And then, of course, on the Crossum Wrestling Entertainment, we will be back to our normal sides, and I will be taking over for that show. And remember, everybody, if you too do love podcasts, why not start one of your own here with us at Clovercrest Media? If you love podcasts, visit clovercrestmedia.com for a wide selection of great shows covering sports, business, relationships, pop culture, politics, and true crime. There are 26 shows on the CMG network, and if you don't find one you like, start one of your own. We can help you launch your podcast for as little as $15 per month, and clovercrestmedia.com is the website. Make sure you check it out and tell your friends about it. You can visit clovercrestmedia.com and click on the link for the latest on your favorite CMG sports podcasts, as well as blogs and video for all of the latest info. Well, Mr. Cross, it has been another incredible episode, and we will see everyone in just a few minutes for the Crossum Wrestling Entertainment Podcast. My name's Tyler Bard. That over there is Noah Cross. We will see you all in the next podcast.
It's time for Baseball with the Bard.